Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to this second edition on breaking into cybersecurity. So, earlier today we did, or I came up, on live stream as well, just like now, to, you know, um, give us or put some information out there for how to break into cybersecurity. And thanks to ISC Squared. Um, Okay, so just to mention, I'm also a professional member of the ISC Squared as well. I hold, a certification with them, and of course, more to come. But most importantly, thanks to the provision of these materials that can be used, officially to educate those who are interested in breaking into cybersecurity. So this is the second edition, to follow up on what we had or our session this morning, our live stream this morning. So, very quickly before I go on, I just want to say, if you're really finding this, live stream, and of course the initiative of putting cybersecurity content out there on my Twitter platform, on my YouTube, because we're live currently on YouTube. All you need to do is please repost, drop your comment, drop your reviews, share the link, and of course on our YouTube you can always subscribe, like, view, and of course drop your honest comments as well. So that being said, so there's been a commitment, from myself and as well CyberV University, which is an online Telegram community that specializes in cybersecurity, to consistently and dedicatively put out cybersecurity content for everyone, who wants to have a place in this field. And of course, we all know cybersecurity is not just it's not just a field that is for the faint-hearted. Cybersecurity is a field that requires you know those that are strong at heart. Of course, those who are not ready to easily give up, and of course, those who are ready to face on and take on challenges. That's what cybersecurity, or that's what this field is all about, challenges, and you have to be ready to take on these challenges, to face them. So quickly, we're just going to Um, like I said, ISC squared, of course, did not sponsor this, but thanks to them being a professional member, of course, they made this guide available, you know, um, to create an awareness of those who would be interested in breaking into cybersecurity. So, and just very quickly, we are going to run up, through this second edition. We already had the first edition that is already available on YouTube. It's also available on Twitter. So this is the second edition. So those who are saying now is the time, I want to break into cybersecurity. I want to have a place in this field. What are you meant to do? What what are you meant to expect? Um, and what do you think, or where do you think you're going to fit in into cybersecurity? Like have said, this field is an ongoing demand field. Of course, we all know that, and it's here to stay because there are a lot of challenges. Right now there are a lot of threat actors, and they become advanced in their methodologies, in their technologies every day as the day goes by. So if you're taking that decision to say now is the time for me to build a career in cybersecurity, trust me, this is the perfect time for you. This is the perfect time for you. So now, how can you get started? How can you get started? This is usually the very most common question. How do I get started? Where do I stay? What do I do? Things like this. So of course, this is the essence of this you know of this webinar, or of this online streaming session right now. So of course, there's been various research that has taken place into what cybersecurity professionals think should be a starting point, for those who want to, because the right place to start. Now, I just want to say this. Look, it doesn't matter what your background is. You might not probably have a technical background. What I mean by this is you probably might come from a background of maybe you have mathematics and statistics background, or you have an agricultural background, or you even have a music background. I mean, what does music has to do with you know cybersecurity? But yeah, if you've taken that decision to say now is the time for me to build a career in cybersecurity, look, what you need to do is just consider certifications. You know what? You don't need to overwhelm yourself with what certification do I take, this, that, or the technicalities in the certifications. Just leave that for the challenge phase. Now, like I told you, cybersecurity is challenging. Yeah, you don't have to worry about the terms, the concepts. The cybersecurity has to do with hacking, has to do with this. No, just leave that alone. You just focus on, okay, what I need to do right now is, firstly, I need to certify myself. I need people to know I'm certified in cybersecurity, or I'm a certified cybersecurity professional. And what do you need to do in order to get certified? You need to study. At least you need to earn your first certification. Like I said, this is not sponsored by any way, or this is not affiliated by any way with ISC squared. This is purely a personal initiative, and of course an initiative from our Telegram community, which is CyberV University. So this has nothing to do with you taking or even making mention of any ISC2 certification, but of course, we cannot but mention that ISC2 has a certification called the Certified in Cybersecurity that can get you started. There's also a certification, an entry level certification by CompTIA Security, or CompTIA, which is the CompTIA Security Plus, which could also get you started. But like I said, certification should be your first thought. Don't get confused. Don't get overwhelmed by so many informations you see out there. Look, a lot of people put so many information out there, and this could be troubling for you. You look this place, you see study GRC. You look another place, you see study penetration testing. You look elsewhere, you're also seeing study vulnerability assessment. Look, don't overwhelm yourself. Take it gradually. It's a process. Look, it takes time. You you definitely have to eventually find your place, but this depends on how you're able to accept this real life situations of cybersecurity takes time, it takes dedication, consistency for you to find your niche. Look, some persons like we just we just blessed, you know. I didn't have a technical background. I started with social sciences as as my background in university. I studied sociology in the university, and of course, you know, that has nothing to do technically with cybersecurity, yeah. But 2018, when I left school, you know, I started pursuing cybersecurity professionally. Now, what I mean professionally, what I did was I started reading. I started taking courses like Computer A Plus, then I went to Computer Network Plus, then I went to Security Plus, and then how that was how I started, delving into ethical hacking, penetration testing, and today I'm here. I'm here where I am. So, but what am I trying to say by giving you this, illustration or a roundup of my story? Look, cybersecurity, for you to be grounded, you need to have a base, a strong base, and a strong foundation. Look, I always tell people how I grew in cybersecurity. I went through all the phases like networking, because networking is more like 80% of cybersecurity. I also did the Computer A plus, so I understood how to ground myself solidly in IT. Look, we find a lot of people today who just, like I said, come from different disciplines, and then in 2 months, 3 months, they want to become professionals. No, that is not how it's done, and that's why I'm taking this webinar. I'm taking this session gradually. Look, the first thing you need to do is right now, as of today, you know, having this live stream, make up your mind. Okay, I want to get certified with an entry level certification. You don't need to worry yourself. You might not need to start saying, okay, you want to follow the path I followed by going through A plus networking, then eventually security. That might not be your own path, which is okay, but don't run away from certifications. Now, what will the certifications do? If someone may ask me, I'll tell you for free that it will ground you in the concepts that you need to understand for you to thrive in cybersecurity. For instance, the Certified in Cybersecurity certification by ISC Squared. What this does is this introduces various concepts. Look, it's a very wonderful certification for you to take, for you to study for. Don't run away from certifications, don't run away from studying. Like I said, the ISC2 squared, the ISC squared certified in cybersecurity is a good place to start. It is a good place to start. And the essence of this is, of course, it will ground you in the fundamentals, in the basics, what you need to understand with cybersecurity. It will give you a solid foundation, and then from there you can progress. We're going to talk about that shortly, but before we get there, let's just move further. So this stream, once again, this stream is currently live on Twitter, it's live on YouTube as well. So if you're here, kindly, if you're here on Twitter, kindly repost, let people spread the word, let people get aware of what is happening. If you're on YouTube, share the link, like, subscribe, and please always drop your honest comment and honest review. So let's move further. So now, who should pursue a career in cybersecurity? Look, I was speaking I was speaking somewhere. I think was it with a colleague or yeah, but I was seeing someone, you know, a guy, came up to me on LinkedIn, and then he sent me a message saying, okay, he wants to also break into cybersecurity, and I was like, oh wow, interesting. And then we got talking, but something caught me up about this particular person. When he was able to actually grab my attention to the extent that I was interested in holding an online meeting with him on Google Meet. And then when we got talking,
he started saying some things, and then I was like, it's for the wrong reasons, But of course, we understand everyone is finding the field very lucrative right now. Like, it's high paying jobs and professional. It's about cyber attacks. So there's a lot of things that comes with this profession. So you need to think about this, like our physical world. Yeah, they protect our physical territory. Yeah. Now, if you think cybersecurity is a place for you, look, we are of no difference from the military personnel that protect the territory. The only thing is we probably don't wear uniforms, but then we do the same job but in the digital space. That is why you need to be you need to have a concrete understanding. You need to be so direct. You need to be so uh, focused on the reason or why you want to actually even pursue a career in cybersecurity. Like I said, the conversation with this guy was so great. He related cybersecurity to a lot of things. And I'm just permitting, he's always the team captain of his football team, and he's always there looking out for his other teammates. I'm like, yeah, that's it, because that's what we do. We look out for IT infrastructures, we look out for even our other teammates. Look, in the earlier session, I would say in the morning session when we had this same talk on breaking into something now, and of course it was there written boldly, and I highlighted it. It said cybersecurity is not just all about, well, it is all about the people. So the people are also a paramount part of cybersecurity. You need to understand these things. Now let's move on. So now we come to, like I said, who or how are you able to be successful in cybersecurity? Now, this is how you are going to be successful in cybersecurity. Firstly, you need to have an attitude for teamwork. Look, this is very critical. This is a crucial skill for cybersecurity professionals to exhibit, because teamwork ethic is paramount in this field. You must have that attitude for teamwork. I just said that based on the conversation that I had with this person that I met on LinkedIn, he was like, he's the football captain for his team. So, you know, he's the team captain for his football team, rather, pardon me. And he's always wanting to look out for his other teammates. Look, that's what it's all about. You must have an attitude for teamwork. You must be ready to work with your team. What else? You must have an independent nature. Look, alongside collaboration, working independently is also equally important. Why? Because cybersecurity is a round the clock role, and professionals should be able to work alone and with minimal supervision at times to accomplish their work. Look, I cannot discredit this a bit, because right now, believe me, where I am presently having this stream with everyone around the world, around the globe right now, I'm doing it independently. I have my own studio, I have my own lab, and I'm right here independently. Now, you see, and I have to work, I have to put out information out there to the world, to you that are listening to me right now. You see, and of course, when a situation occurs where, we need to work in teams, and then, of course, try to, troubleshoot, or, set up proper configurations for things that has been misconfigured, and of course, things like maybe analyzing a penetration test report. Definitely, I will need to work with my other teammates, and I must be ready. I must be able to professionally exhibit that skills the same way I'm doing right now independently, putting out this information to you. Like I said, cybersecurity is round the clock. We had a first edition this morning. Now, this evening, we're having a second edition. This is because we cannot put out enough information. Like, the information out there cannot be enough. We can't say, okay, now we've gotten to that stage where everyone has had enough information. They are now protected. Nah, it doesn't happen in cybersecurity. Now let's move further. What else? Leadership. Look, leadership is now regarded as a very key. leader or a very key skill that is required, of course, in every organization. And professionals in cybersecurity must be able to demonstrate these leadership skills. They must be credible, they must be responsive, and of course, ethical enough to build trust among senior management and peers. Look, in cybersecurity, you're going to be working with various management executives, and you will need to be able to, exhibit forms of leadership. You might be, you might be in the red team, in the blue team, the purple team, but whatever team you find yourself in, whatever role you find yourself in, leadership is a required skill for cybersecurity professionals as well. Now, this leads me to the next point, which is communication. Look, in cybersecurity, you must possess a very strong communication and presentation skills, because, of course, you are going to find yourselves in situations where you need to communicate to stakeholders. And, of course, some of these stakeholders might be from non technical backgrounds. So, how are you able to transform technical terms, technical concept, technical presentation into non-technical terms for these stakeholders to understand, or even in some instances for executive management, personnel, for them to understand? It is important. And how can you build on your communication skills? You need to be able to understand from the basis, from the foundation level, the right concept. You need to understand the right terminologies. These are what builds your communication skills in cybersecurity. Now you need to have a passion for learning. I love ISC squared for this point. Look, you need to, cybersecurity is always evolving. Professionals are expected to continuously learn the latest cyber trends, technologies, and security challenges that organizations are facing. Look, you cannot learn enough in this field. Like, you keep learning. I myself, I'm a very young professional. I was also in the Twitter space where I had some persons say, so people don't like to classify themselves as newbies, but come on, 5 years in cybersecurity, I might say I'm a newbie, you know. Yeah, not notwithstanding, maybe my portfolio or things I've been able to achieve, yeah, by God's grace, but I still feel that there is room for more knowledge. There's room to learn more. Look, cybersecurity, I always tell people in my community, you must be ready to learn, you must be ready to study. Look, you can't separate studying from cybersecurity. That cannot work. You must be ready to study, and, of course, the passion for learning. Now, lastly, analytical thinking. Look, this is very important because cybersecurity professionals must have a keen analytical mindset to understand how incidents occur. You need to be able to identify attack surfaces that are susceptible to exploitation and develop strategies to reduce cyber threats. Now, for you to be able to do this, you need to be able to think analytically. You need to be able to think analytically. Now, how are you able to develop these analytical thinking skills? What you need to do is to study. You need to learn. You need to understand from the grassroots, from the basis. Like I said, we are going to be having a master class. I put this announcement earlier during our morning session. There's going to be a master class coming up on networking, and I just have this desire to push out networking for people to really understand this, because cybersecurity is majorly 80%, if not 90%, of networking. You really just might need to understand, few hardware components, terms, concepts, and then, but the rest of it is networking, which is why I'm going to be having a master class on networking. We'll be using, very educative materials for this master class, and, of course, as we progress as well, we'll look at how to, analyze, tools, how to use some of the cybersecurity tools, and, of course, I actually feel after this second edition we can also do a run up or a masterclass on the Kali Linux, just an introduction to Kali Linux, because these are the tools that we usually find ourselves using. So, if you're just joining us, you're welcome. This is Breaking into Cybersecurity, second edition. We had our first edition in the morning. This is the second edition right now, and I am Ayomide Oyedele. I'm your instructor. I'm your host for this, live streaming, and of course, the founder of CyberV University. Please follow us on Twitter. Follow us, on YouTube. You can also follow my personal handle on Twitter as well, where this live stream is coming from. And of course, kindly retweet, repost our webinars. Let others just spread the word, create the awareness, so people can always, find their way here to learning. That's the key thing, and that's the goal. That's the mission right now, to get everyone learning. So great. Now we are now talking. Now we've been able to break out some things into how to break into cybersecurity. Now, remember the first thing we talked about. Don't forget is certification. We talked about certification. Please don't run away from certification. And I've said it. I said this earlier. Look, it doesn't matter right now. I want you to, because I feel like this is something that is, it's like a it's like you know which term will I use now? It's like a bad egg. Yeah, what I'm about to say is like a bad egg. And what is it? Is the is the is the so much increment and purge of misinformation in cybersecurity. What do I mean by this? See, so many people come and say cybersecurity is this, is some bring the narratives of it's all about penetration testing. It's all about, they push these narratives of the technicalities, you know, and of course some persons out there also have that knowledge enough to classify cybersecurity into technical and non-technical. But you know what? Right now, I want you to erase your mind. Just have a blank mind right now, and I want you to just focus on the things that is being said in this live stream. Look, you're hearing from someone who is been in the field, a young professional. But I can as well tell you, look, I've seen a lot in this field. Like, I've been able to witness so much. So right now, this initiative of coming live, trying to push out, the right information by our platform on Telegram, using my personal Twitter handle as well on YouTube. Look, it's the focus is to give out credible information. Now remember, I said once you're getting into this field as a newbie, as a fresh man, look, please just first thing you do is have it at the back of your mind that I need to get certified. I myself that I'm speaking to you, I am certified. Look, in as much as I have so many technical skills, in hacking, penetration testing. Like I said, I've been in this field, since 2019, professionally developing myself. Look, I still had to go for certifications because, of course, that's how we prove our skills, yeah. But I'm talking about even down to the base certification, like certified in cybersecurity by ISC squared, and that was a really life-changing opportunity. It was a really life-changing phase for me. Immediately I got that certification, I felt like, whoa, I'm now a cybersecurity professional. You know, if and that certification, I was able to attain it this year. That wasn't my first certification, but I'm just trying to let you know that there's a boost that comes with certification. Even if you study Yoruba, eh, in your university, or you studied political science, which has no correlation with cybersecurity, once you get certified, especially with a certification like ISC squared, certified in cybersecurity, it just gives you that satisfaction. So what am I saying? Look, focus on certification. And of course, the certification that I'm saying you should focus on right now is the certified in cybersecurity certification fundamentals. Basis, basic fundamentals. I mean, I'm talking about, the base certifications. certified in cybersecurity by ISC squared. Another one is security plus, CompTIA security plus certification. These are big. Now, I'm saying this because this will introduce you to the concepts that you need to understand for you to progress in this field and then find your niche, find your place. Earlier this morning, we spoke about different roles, the technical role, the non technical role. We spoke about the administrative and then the non administrative, part of cybersecurity. But like I'm saying right now, use this to boost yourself, use this to boost your morale, use this to boost your confidence on how to find your niche. Take the certified in cybersecurity certification by ISC squared. There's a training material available. You can study this training material on my Telegram community, CyberV University. I covered a training all through using this material provided by ISC squared for certified in cybersecurity. You can also use that material, those resources there in the Telegram community to study to help you. Now, this is how you are able to build a strong foundation. Not everyone's story would be the same thing. Our fingerprints are different, so it's our mindset. So if A used this technology or use this methodology to break into cybersecurity, it might be different from what B has to use to break into cybersecurity. So don't let anyone come out to push wrong narratives or to push a certain propaganda towards saying cybersecurity is all about this, it's all about no. You need to be open-minded. And how can you do this? You need to start by certifying yourself in the field. Of course, we have roles like GLC, the governance, regulatory and compliance. We have, which is like the administrative role. We also have non-administrative role like the penetration testing, vulnerability assessment. These roles that has to do with you having technical, hands-on and the likes. But irrespective of where you think okay might be comfortable for you to also build your career upon, get certified. I think I've stressed and I can't stress enough on you getting certified. But let's move. Let's progress forward. So where do I start on my path? Now I mean, we've been on this. We've been discussing for over 20 minutes right now, and I've been stressing on getting certified and what you need to do, what are the skills you need, and all that. So now that you've established your interest, if you're still here with us up to this moment, it shows that okay, yes, you really want to get into this field. What do you need to do? How do you start on your path? Now, not far from what I've told you. Of course, you need to know the technical basics. I just stressed on this. And how can you get these technical basics? Is by getting a basic certification. Now, permit me to just go back a bit. You can see what it was highlight, and I'm going to highlight what it says here. It says what they all have in common is a shared interest in technology and how it works. Here are some tips to get you started. Before that, what was said, he said people enter it from diverse backgrounds and experiences. So it doesn't matter your experience, it doesn't matter your prior background. Look, you definitely have a place in cybersecurity, but what do you need to do? You need to know the technical basics. It's very important. I cannot stress on this enough. Now, not everyone in cybersecurity comes from a deep technical background, but it's important to know the basics because some industry experts advise starting on a more general technical path and then focusing on cybersecurity later once the basics are mastered. Now I hope this is beginning to make sense to you. Also always tell, um, I always say this anyway I have opportunity to speak, and thank you all who are present on this live, listening and of course, you took out the time to stay up to this moment and listening to me. Look, I always tell people this, and I believe in it so much. Yeah, I tell people, I say, look, this life, our brain or our mind is like a rubber. Now, when I was very little, I grew up in a place called. I grew up in Nigeria, and of course, a state, Lagos State. Before I moved on to Kaduna, so I have a mix of, the Yoruba and the Northern culture. But something that is very common to this, or to childhood in Nigeria, is we play this rubber game. Rubber, it's called rubber ring because they're like rubbers in rings form. Now we try to, you know, um, elast it and then shoot it up, and then once we have a rubber ring on another rubber ring, we pick it. I know so many persons might be able to relate to this story, but what's the essence of me sharing this story? Look, life is like a rubber ring. Now, when you get a new rubber ring, yeah, it has a particular size. Now, when you elast it, yeah, and then you hold it that way for a long time, when you release it back, trust me, the size at which when you got a new, it can't be that same size. What has happened? It has become elast. It the elasticity is now more. Now, this is the same thing with cybersecurity. I, Permit me to relate it to it this way. When you focus on the technical terms, or when you focus on the technicality of cybersecurity, yeah, and then you really ground yourself in there and try to master every of those basics, it's like you expanding that rubber ring. Now, once you bring that rubber ring back, if you want to expand it but not as much, or you want to elast it rather, but not as much as you did the first time, do you notice that it becomes even easier? And then before it gets more tougher is when you are trying to expand it past the former or the prior elasted mode. Permit me to use that grammar, but I'm trying to translate a concept here to us, for us to understand why focusing on the technicalities, why building yourself on the technical aspect of cybersecurity, it's important, right? Now, so we've talked about knowing the technical basics. I can't stress on that enough. You just need to know the technical basics. It's important, irrespective of your background. It's very important. Now, consider training in general IT. I told you when I started cybersecurity, I started with CompTIA A plus. Then I transcended into, networking. I spent a couple of years there, and then while I was still in networking, I started taking cybersecurity. I transitioned into cybersecurity, and I've been in cybersecurity, up until this moment. Now, it's very important for you to engage yourself in trainings. Now, these trainings might be paid trainings, they might be free trainings, but engage yourself. Stay dedicated to these trainings. Now, finding an internship, an apprenticeship, apprenticeship or entry level job in IT is a great launch pad. Uh, you know, of course, pardon me, because I think I've had I've had some how, what do I call it now, in speaking some of these big grammars. But yeah, it's just who we are. Like I said, I hail from Nigeria. I think my first language is not even meant to be English. I'm a Yoruba boy, but that's no excuse for pronouncing apprenticeship wrong. Okay, so of course you need to consider, you know, gaining, training in this. Of course, yeah. Like for instance, you can see it says consider data entry, help desk, or any other ground level technical position to learn IT fundamentals. So what is this? What is this trying to stress here? It's trying to stress we or us learning IT fundamentals. Very important. Yeah, you need to understand the basics. It's just what I've been stressing on. You need to understand this. Now you'll get a hands-on sense of the technical processes and real-world business scenarios that will serve you well in cybersecurity. So you need training. Now the training doesn't even have to be in cybersecurity. Look, all you need is just what you say it could be an help desk or any ground level technical position. So what I did was, when I did my computer A plus training, I went to learn the the infrastructure or the architecture mode of computer systems. So I started studying how to dismantle, desktops, laptops, printers, and then I reassemble them back. I did that for a couple of months. Then got into networking, and that was how I built myself into cybersecurity. So today, when I try to speak on cybersecurity to persons, I do it in a place that comes from a ground root. You understand? So it's like me trying to, conjoin every of my, you know, past experience and background into this field, into words that can be relatable to you. So that's actually one of the, essential, or or top considerations when you want to get into this field. Now, you need to focus your area of interest. This is very important. Look, so many persons ask, okay, I want to. Now, let's read officially from ISA Squared. What are they saying? They say, what does your ideal cybersecurity career look like? Your path in the short term will springboard your future. Areas of focus that can serve as starting points include entry-level cybersecurity, cloud security, governance, risk and compliance, software security, security operations, network security, and cybersecurity leadership. Now, this is this is not my handwriting, but of course I 100% agree to this and I relate to this perfectly well. Everyone who has reached out, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, saying, "How do I start?" Now, this is just, this webinar or this live stream is just for you. Look, have a focus of interest. Like I said, don't take away everything, all the key points we've said earlier. If you need to rewatch this stream, please do so. We've spoken on a lot of things, the skills you need to have, and now we are talking about how you get your path started. Now, what did we start with? We started with having the technical basics. We also spoke on considering training in general. Now we're saying focus your area, focus on your area of interest, and we've been able to look at different areas of interest right here. Now, what are these? There are entry level cybersecurity roles from cloud security, governance, risk and compliance, software security, security operations, network security, and cybersecurity leadership. So now you've been able to understand that, okay, these are the places that I can focus my area of interest in cybersecurity. So if anyone tells you cybersecurity is just all about penetration testing, ethical hacking, things like that, no. Right here you can see there's governance, you can see there's risk and compliance, if you don't want to get so technical. And of course, looking at the technical parts, you can see there's network security, there's software security, because of course, for you to be a software security engineer, you must be able to understand programming language, so that requires some form of technicalities. Now, what else? There's also security operations. So, but the the main focus right here is, now you are understanding what is, or what should be, your area of interest, for you to be able to focus on these areas of interest. Now, trust me, you can have multiple area of interest, and of course it will help you, because I can tell you, in cybersecurity, once you're able to understand the basics, ground yourself, proper trainings, you equip yourself, you master the fundamentals. Look, you can find yourself in two or more of these roles, and you thrive. Like, you'll be very successful at them. That's why, people find this field very lucrative. Right now, I'm here, I'm speaking with you. As much as I'm doing this, I'm also trying to upskill myself. I'm trying to improve on my communication skills. I'm trying to improve on, how I'm able to communicate with persons. I'm able to relate informations to persons. I'm also trying to build that up as well. Now, I'm also trying to, build my cybersecurity leadership skills, and I can tell you for free that I have, knowledge on network security. I have knowledge on risk and compliance. I have knowledge on governance, and also on security operations. Now you can see how I'm able to. But which one is evident right now that I'm partaking in right now is the cybersecurity leadership, yeah, because I'm trying to build on how to, gather talented cybersecurity professionals, and grow them. So of course that is what it's all about. That's what I'm trying to push right now. But that doesn't take away the other roles or the other areas of interest that I have in this field and I'm even proficient in. So this is how cybersecurity can be very useful, can be very lucrative. And this is the advantage that people take in cyber in this field. So I hope right now everyone is beginning to understand, okay, this is how I can break into cybersecurity. Now let's move on to the next point. Learning independently. Now this is very important because like I told us, um, you know, when we started, we looked at how you must be able to work in a team, and of course you must be able to work independent. But right now we can see learning independently as well. Right now I'm in my home lab, I'm in my home studio, I'm delivering this lecture. I'm also learning. I'm learning without no one around me. I'm learning independently. You might be in your workplace right now. You must be able to also learn independently. Now, there are many ways to learn the technical skills that are used in cybersecurity, including books, self-directed learning, online courses. Of course, I know you're very familiar with, and guided training. But whichever you choose, these fundamentals will be very essential as you get deeper into security work. So now you need to be able to learn independently. I know a lot of persons are doing that right now. People are going to Coursera, they're beginning to make good use of these online platforms, and of course, which is very helpful. And I can also tell you for free as well that CyberV University right here on Twitter. You can follow us at CyberV Uni and our community on Telegram. The link is in my pinned tweet on this platform, on this profile right now that's hosting this live streaming. I can tell you that we are going to be providing very useful live streaming like this for everyone to learn the basics in cybersecurity. I mean, we are also going to, we're also going to be getting deeper, diving deeper into, advanced technical skills as well. But for the sake of those who are, you know, trying to find their niche in this field, trying to break into this field, it is with so much passion for them that I'm doing this webinar. It's with so much passion that I'm coming on live, to give out all this information. And I really hope that someone out there listens to this and takes these words, to heart. I'm not about to turn this to a to an emotional speech or an emotional live stream, but yeah. So you need to also be able to learn independently. Then what else? You need to get certified. Now we can't escape this. I already told us, yeah, we can't escape this. Now look, ISC squared certified in cybersecurity entry level certification breaks down traditional barriers to entry, enabling you to build your confidence and start your first cybersecurity role prepared for what's next. I told you. I already told you. I already told you this. I told you you can't run away from getting certified. Now, if you're on this stream right now and you're listening to me live and you want to get certified with this certification, which is ISC squared, like I told you, they are not in any way affiliated um, with this live stream. I just happen to be a professional member and I found this material which was provided by them very useful, and I'm out here trying to spread out the word on just giving an awareness on how to break into cybersecurity. So if you're right here, you're listening, and you know that you're willing to take this cyber security certification, which is the certified in cybersecurity, I want you to leave a comment on this live, and then I'm going to get back to you. I'm going to get back to you, and I'm going to give you some access to materials that can really help you. And then I really want to hear from you. I want to also um, know what you think, how you feel about your journey into cybersecurity, how personally how I can be of guide to you. And of course, I mean, it's just going to be like an incentive for you listening up to this point, in this webinar. So just drop a comment in the comment section of this live streaming. your comment could be anything. I mean, once you made a comment, uh, or just comment certified in cybersecurity. So just make that comment. You can just make the comment certified in cybersecurity. Then I'll reach out to you and I'll know, okay, you're talking about you getting certified with, ISC squared, entry level certification. And then, like I said, I'll reach out to you and then we'll get it going from there. So yeah, that about that. So let's keep moving. So now you can see you can also get the free CC training and exam right now, and there are also instructions. But like I said, this is not in any way a promotional video or a promotional live stream of ISC squared. This is independently done by myself, and I'm just trying to spread out the word and awareness to everyone. Now, the next question that, of course, I know a lot of people do ask, and it's usually, how can I get my first job in cybersecurity? Now, once you have the opportunity to interview for a role, make sure you put your best foot forward. Now, how can you get your first job? This is simply what you need to do. Incoming professionals should absorb as much information as possible about the roles and responsibilities that are associated with the job titles that intrigue them the most. That way, once you get in front of a recruiter or hiring manager, you're ready to do these things. You're ready to ask questions and share opinions that demonstrate knowledge of the profession. You are able to emphasize an understanding of the skills that are required to mitigate risk, such as problem solving, communication, and critical thinking. We've spoken about this, yeah. You're also able to show the willingness to learn as much as possible about cybersecurity through training, mentoring, on the job learning, webinars, and self-guided online courses. So this is how you are able to put your best foot forward. Now, another key point is make sure prospective employers see you're serious about a career in cybersecurity. Part of that is learning about the industry and the language used by cybersecurity professionals. Like any other profession, there's a lexicon, and in the know vernacular you need to master in order to walk the talk. So this is a very important, aspect of cybersecurity. You don't just want to go about using, terms and concepts that are not relatable. I mean, you need to have and be able to demonstrate an understanding of things like, um, the vernaculars that are used in cybersecurity. For instance, you need to be able to demonstrate an understanding of the threat landscape by keeping up with the news of evolving attacks and methods. Of course, we have the CVSS. We have this platform, which is the common vulnerabilities scores and rating sites that helps us to understand the common vulnerabilities, and of course how they can be mitigated. I mean, things like these are things you need to be familiar with. There's also you being able to articulate important nuisance nuances rather, pardon me, between threat actors, attacks, breaches, and the concept of risk and risk management. These things you need to be able to understand. Now, what are threats? Obviously, we know just from the as the name implies, threats are anything that poses, a risk to our infrastructure. So if there's a vulnerability, that means there's a weakness on our system. Now, whoever is going to try to put that system as at risk, by trying to exploit that vulnerability, is a threat. So, and of course, threat actors are those, or threat whoever would be trying to pose would try to exploit those vulnerabilities. We can call them threat actors. But of course, the threats themselves, are the attacks. They are they are what exactly, once they are able to gain hold or get embedded in our systems, could actually cause havoc to our systems. Also breaches. I mean, when we talk about breaches, these are concepts that, or these are terms that, of course, like unauthorized access, into our systems. That's a breach occurring. And of course, you need to understand the concept of risk. When we talk about risk, you need to know what's business impact analysis. You need to be able to, understand distinct business continuities and the likes. These are, things you need to be able to understand. You also need to keep current with the new existing technologies, the tools, and the practices that are used to mitigate risk. And of course, you need to also demonstrate your knowledge of industry priorities like cloud security and top threats like ransomware. So now, um, that is gradually bringing us to the end of this live webinar. So, like I said, what you need to do right now is go get certified in cybersecurity and then start the journey, of course, to advanced certifications. So, and of course, one thing you also need to be you need to keep in mind is to keep growing with continuous professional development. And I want to say um, a big thank you for everyone who has joined up to this moment. And like I said, I mean, this live webinar is a it's a a personal initiative, of course, by myself, by Cyber Video University, which is you know our Telegram community. You can join us by the link in my pinned tweet, and of course, do well to repost this live stream. Drop your reviews, drop your comments. We are live on YouTube, also live on Twitter. Follow me, follow CyberVG University, and of course, be sure to get more interesting live streams to educate us to spread the word on cybersecurity. That being said, uh, have a good day, and yeah, thank you for joining today's session.